Hey everyone, welcome to Cue Up Something Great with the Meatyo-Q'rs. I'm Steve Chamberlain, and on today's episode, we're doing something a little different today. Instead of doing a how-to video on meats or other sorts of smoking, I've got with me one of my favorite beers from the local brewery, and we're going to go ahead and go through some common gift ideas, some things that I just can't live without by my side while I'm grilling, smoking, and it might come in handy when you got that stubborn person to look for and gift. So we're going to go ahead in chronological order here, starting with building the fire and then transporting the meat and temperature-wise to finishing it and things that you need in between. So to start, I've got some wood fire starters, and these guys are a wax-coated ball of twine, ball of hay. Like I say, wax coated, they got a propellant in them. You can see when you light it, you put it next to your charcoal, and then your charcoal will light with it. They work fantastic. Royal Oak makes some. There's other brands out there. I went cheap with this one, and I find that the cheap ones work just fine. So that you can go with. Of course, we've got our good old-fashioned charcoal chimney here. So it's got a spot where you put your starter on the bottom, or paper towels, newspapers, common, whatever you want. And then up top, right in this area, is where you stack all your coal. So these are a must-have. If you're grilling, if you got a charcoal griller, they need a chimney. It makes a world of difference, makes it so much easier than trying to figure out how to light it otherwise. Of course, if they've been on the naughty list, how about some coal? I find that Weber briquettes are the best briquettes I've used. They are much longer burning, they burn hotter, last longer than your Kingsford Blue Bag, and otherwise, if they want to try something a little different, how's about some lump charcoal? So let me show you the difference here. With lump charcoal, it looks like a burnt up piece of wood. And with briquettes, it's refined into a briquette, kind of like your common, what you're used to for charcoal. So we got that, and we got that. This will burn hotter. It's got a little more flavor. This will be more consistent. So it depends what they want to do. If you want to just straight grill, I would go with the lump. If you want to do long smokes, the briquettes are nice too. Lump also works well for smoking, but it can be a little more inconsistent. So it can be more of a challenge. Okay. So you got your hot fire, your cold beer. All right, you need a way to handle your fire. So, becoming more common now are these gloves with the heat-resistant liner on them. They work awesome for being able to handle stuff. You get a little more dexterity in your fingers versus the old mitten style. I will say they don't protect as well from the cuffs for your forearms, but if you need to get in there, move grates around, move food around, these are awesome. They're not as cumbersome, and they work very well. Of course, how could I forget? You gotta light that fire somehow. This is a butane torch. So you turn it on, and then you click the button, and you can see you get a little flame. Works awesome for lighting those fire starters, your paper towel, or a box of matches, but that's not very fun to get. So I'll get them a butane lighter. That's a little more fun. Okay, we've got our fire lit. We've handled it. We've put it in our baskets. You got to clean that grate somehow. So there's a lot of controversy out there right now versus the traditional scrapers with the bristles on them. There's been a lot of write-ups in the news, people going to the hospital because they swallow bristles, so they're kind of on the up and out. These wood ones here are awesome. You can see after you use them for a while, you start to get your grooves of your grill. So then it'll start cleaning between the grates. It does take a little bit for them to get those grooves, but once they're in there, that's one of the best scrapers you can have. All right, fire started. We've got our grates cleaned. Time to go head back to the meat. So, everybody could use a nice knife. How's about something like that? This is a 6-inch boning knife. Awesome for trimming off the fat to your meat. Slicing, pre-cook, but you can see it's got a nice handle, nice curve. Just a good filet knife or boning knife is awesome gift for somebody. You can't go wrong giving them that. I like the Hammerstall brand. I've got a couple of their knives now. I've been really impressed. So that's what I've stuck to, and that's what I find works well. All right, your meat's trimmed. Grab another drink of beer. We gotta get that meat to the grill or smoker. But before, how about injecting it? So I've got an injector here. You can see it's got one bigger needle for having spices and herbs in your injection, and it's got a smaller one for just a smooth injection. Here's the injector. If we can get it. So, looks like that. And you just pull up on this in your injection, press it in the meat, and you inject. They're very handy because they're not, and they're a great gift because they're not super common for the common griller. They might not have one, and chances are you might get them their first one. All right, so now our meat's injected, our fire's rolling. What next? We gotta put this meat on the smoker. So there's a few handy tools I like to have to get it out there. I've got, first off, if you got something large and awkward, a couple spatulas, just flatties, nothing too fancy. You don't need all the side ridges and bottle openers and everything, you know, the common, you get them, the gift pack, it's got the tongs and the scrapers and the skewers and whatnot. Nah, you don't need all that. You just need a couple of flat spatulas, and I like to have two because you can get under your meat, pick it up, and then put it on. So if they already have one, and you get them a second one, not the end of the world. All right, another way, good tongs. Once again, you don't need fancy tongs. I have a pair of tongs that's got teeth on it, and they're angled, and it's a pain in the ass. So, just a pair of tongs that you get good grip. And then, we got bear paws. So these, you put it in your hand like that, and like that, and you can pick your meat up and out. So these are great for transporting meat, and then later, say you're doing a pork butt, they shred the meat awesome too. You put it in like that, and you can shred. So these are a great gift. Chances are, most likely, somebody doesn't have them, and you'll be getting their first one of those. Okay, meat's on the grill. We're having another beer. Okay, your meat's going. What do you gotta do next? You gotta keep it moist. So I like to keep just a regular spray bottle. You can pick them up for like 99 cents at the store. Just something for apple cider vinegar or juice, whatever they prefer to put in it. Very cheap gift, but very effective. If they don't have one already, and they should definitely try to start using it. So now that we've sprayed our meat that's been on, okay. So going back to preparing the meat, I would like to just say a good pair of kitchen shears. If you're doing any chickens or anything, you gotta trim the chicken. You can see they got a little shorter blade on them. real heavy duty. When you get into the bones, it gets to be pretty tough on just normal kitchen shears. So if you get ones that are made for poultry, not necessarily poultry, but just meat trimming, they're awesome. Okay, so that's a good one for meat trimming. Okay, so now our meat's still on the smoker, but setting it up. Oh, here's a good one. Here is a good one. If you've got that guy who likes to grill and everything, but they don't have a remote thermometer, that's important to have. Yeah, I wouldn't say need one, but it's almost essential. So I've got a Weber iGrill 2. It's got a spot for 4 ports right there. And then what that is you got probes here. Let me just take one off, show you. So you set it on here. This is a holder. You squeeze this, put it right between your grates, and then this sits right in the ambient temperature. So just measuring that air temp in your grill, not measuring the meat. But there are probes that do measure meat. I won't unwrap this one for you. You can see this one's pointed. So that one you stick in your meat, and then you sit there, or that sits there. Well, you sit there and drink your beer, whatever. Sits there, measures your meat temperature, and then, you know, depending on your remote thermometer, some of them have Bluetooth, some of them are just a separate remote that you bring on inside, but either way, you don't have to sit outside by your grill monitoring the temperature of that meat all the time. So that will sit there, monitor the temp of your meat, and then it will let you know when it's done, rather than having to stick a instant read thermometer in it all the time. However, let me just wrap this up. Well, let me say one thing too, while it's sitting here. How about a case? So one of these cases, you know, your pistol style case, Pelican's a big brand. Otherwise, if you go on down to Harbor Freight, they are dirt cheap. But I want to show you what you can do is they got custom cutouts all over, little cubes that you peel out. So you peel it out, and then you can customize it to whatever you want to put in it. Awesome for thermometers, fragile things like that. Your remote temperature probes, anything like that. You know, stuff that doesn't get too dirty, and you can store it in there because it's foam. It's not water resistant or anything. So you want to keep it fairly clean. But those are awesome for about 30-40 bucks. So we got that. I cannot say enough good stuff about the ThermoWorks ThermoPen. It is the Cadillac of instantly read thermometers. I'm not saying you need this, but if you can afford it, it's about 100 bucks, but they do go on sale quite often. If you can pick one up, they're awesome. You can see this is the MK4, ThermoWorks MK4. It's got a rotating display on it. It's also got the backlight that you saw. Another very neat thing, when you fold it, it goes away, goes to sleep. You unfold it, and it's on. So, very handy tool to have. Lord knows the meat always takes longer than you think, so we're always out there in the dark grilling. You need that backlight. It saved my butt so many times. All right, what else we got? Aha. Okay, so your meat's on. Now it's time for sauce. We got silicone brushes, a big mammoth and a little one. One of each is awesome. This one is great for a full rack of ribs. You can really just couple swipes, it's good. This one's awesome for detail work. If you got things that have a little tighter spaces, spots, things like that, you can really get in there with this one. Also, it's portable. Great tool to have. Must-haves, I would say. Because you can't really spread sauce around with a spoon. You can, but it looks ugly. All right, well, so we have another beer. Put the sauce on. Time to bring them off. Once again, spatulas for transporting, tongs for transporting, or these cool things, the bear claws for transporting. All very useful tools to have. All right, this, aside from the instant read thermometer, is probably my second favorite thing I own. We got a good meat slicer. Now, I'm not saying you gotta go buy the best meat slicer, but they're dang cool to have. And they look cool when you get putting them next to a rack of ribs. So, any sort of a slicer. You got that wonderful turkey done, you got the chicken done, briskets done, ribs, but you're cutting them with a cheap knife, and a lame knife, or a chef's knife, or something that's just jerry-rigged. A good slicer goes a long way. You can really present your meat well, you get nice, crisp, clean edges, and it's just a beautiful slice then, rather than it just being all torn up. And then, what do you slice it on but a nice wood cutting board? Because we all like the Instagram photos, right? Right? All right. So, those are my gift ideas. Everything from charcoal, lighting the fire, to handling the meat, to seasoning the meat, preparing it, to brushing it and finishing it and slicing it. So, I guess those are my gift ideas here. It's been fun hanging out with you today. Been fun drinking beer, of course, naturally. We're festive for the holiday spirit, you can see. So, I guess with that, this video goes for any time of the year, really. So it doesn't have to be Christmas related, but none of this stuff really is over $100. So if you got that someone that you just can't find the right last minute gift for, these are all great ideas. So, if you got any questions or anything, give me a holler. I'm very glad to help. I love talking shop. So I guess on that note, cheers, and have a Merry Christmas.